Good morning, guys, and welcome to the channel. Today's our topic of discussion is about the Constitution of India, that is also known as called your Bharatiya Samvidhan. Okay, so the Constitution of India is the supreme law of India. The documents lays down the framework, demarcating fundamental political code, structure, procedure, powers, and duties of government institution, and sets out fundamental rights, directive principles, and the duties of citizen. So this is what actually it includes. Okay, it includes your fundamental political code, structure, procedure, powers, duties of government institution, and sets out the fundamental rights, directive principles, okay, and the duties of the citizen. So this all things include into what? Include in your constitution. That is what we call it your Bharatiya Samvidhan. It is the longest written constitution of any country in the earth, on the earth. Okay, now so it is the longest written constitution of any country on the earth. Okay, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, chairman of drafting committee, is widely considered to be as the chief architect. Okay, and who is the chief architect of Indian Constitution? That is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is the chief architect of it. Our constitution imparts what it imparts: constitutional supremacy. Okay, not parliamentary supremacy, since it was created by constituent assembly rather than parliament. Okay, so it imparts constitutional supremacy and was adopted by its people with a declaration in its preamble. Parliament cannot override the constitution. It was adopted by Constitution Assembly of India on 26 November 1949. Okay, this is when our constitution was adopted by our Constitution Assembly. You need to remember that is 26 November 1949 and became effective. And when it came into the force, it came into the force on 26 January 1950. The Constitution replaced the Government of India Act 1935 as the country's fundamental governing document, and Dominion of India became the Republic of India. To ensure constitutional autochthony. Autochthony, here this word, which may be new for you, it means native or indigenous. Okay. To ensure the constitutional autochthony, its framers, means those who have made it, okay, repealed prior act of British Parliament in Article 395. India celebrates its constitution on 26 January as Republic Day. Okay, this is the day when we celebrate our Constitution Day. Further, it says the Constitution declares India a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, assuring its citizens justice, equality, and liberty, and endeavors to promote fraternity. The original 1950 Constitution is preserved in a helium-filled case at the Parliament House in New Delhi. Okay, this is important thing to remember. That's the 1950 Constitution is preserved in a helium-filled case in the Parliament of New Delhi. The word secular. Okay. Further, it says the words secular and socialist were added to preamble in 1976 during the emergency time. Okay, was the time when this word secular and socialist were added in Constitution 1976. Okay, now in this topic, if we discuss about the background of our Constitution, okay, what it says in 1928, all the parliament's parties conference convened a committee in Lucknow to prepare a constitution of India, which was known as Nehru Report. What it was known as Nehru Report. Most of the colonial India was under British rule from 1857 to 1947. This was the time period of British rule, as you know. From 1947 to 1950, the same legislation continued to be implemented as India was a dominion of Britain for these 3 years, as each princely state was convinced by Sardar Patel and V.P. Menon to sign the Articles of Integration with India, and the British government continued to responsible for the external security of the country. Thus, Constitution of India repealed the Indian Independence Act 1947 and the Government of India Act 1935 when it became effective on 26 January 1950. Okay, so this part is important to remember here. The Constitution of India repealed Indian Independent Act 1947, which acts are repealed by its and another one is the Government of India Act 1935. Okay, and when it was repealed, when this constitution came into force on 26 January 1950. Further, it says India ceased to be dominion of the British Crown and became a sovereign democratic republic with the constitution. Article 5, 6, 8, 9, 60, 324, 366, 367, 379, 380, 388, 391, 392, 393, and 394 of the Constitution came into the force on 26 November 1949. Okay, and the remaining article became effective on 26 January 1950. Next, we have Constituent Assembly. The Constitution was drafted by the Constituent Assembly, which was elected by elected members of provincial assemblies. The 389 members assembly. Okay, that initially there was 389 members, and then later on it reduced to 299. Okay, when it reduced after the partition of India. Okay, and it took almost 3 years to draft the constitution. And how much time was taken? Around 3 years to draft constitution, holding 11 sessions. How many sessions were held? Around 11 sessions over 165-day period. Further, it says that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was a vice constitutional expert. He had studied the constitutions of about 60 countries. Okay, see how many countries' constitution he read before framing this. Ambedkar is recognized as the father of Constitution of India. So they ask you who is known as called the father of Constitution of India. So you should know that is Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar. All right. In the Constitution Assembly, a member of drafting committee, T.T. Krishnamachari, said, okay, and these here are the words of T.T. Krishnamachari, words are quoted over here, that what he said in his speech. Okay, now we look at the timeline of formation of Constitution of India. So what the point number 1 says here, 6th December 1946, that was the formation of the Constitution Assembly. Okay, which date it was? 6th December 1946. Okay, in accordance with the French practice. Next incident took place 9th December 1946, means 6, 7, 8, 9, means after 3 days only. The first meeting was held in the Constitution Hall, okay, now which is known as called as Central Hall of Parliament. Okay, there it was on 9th December 1946, first meeting of Constitution held. The first person to address was J.B. Kripalani. Okay, Sachidananda Sinha became the temporary president at that time, demanding a separate state for the Muslim League boycott. Uh, Demanding a separate state, the Muslim League boycotted this meeting even. And 11th December 1946, the Assembly appointed Rajendra Prasad as its president, H.C. Mukherjee as its vice chairman, and B.N. Rao as its constitutional legal advisor. Okay, there were initially 389 members, I told you, right? Members in the total, which later on decreased and it became 299 after the partition. Okay, out of the 389 members, 299 were government provinces. Okay, 292 were government provinces, four from the chief commissioner provinces, and 93 from princely states. The next point said 13 December 1946. An objective resolution was presented by Jawaharlal Nehru, laying down the underlying principles of the Constitution. This later became pre-emblem of the Constitution. On 2nd January 1947, objective resolution unanimously adopted. On 2nd July 1947, national flag was adopted. Okay, this is an important thing. And 15th August 1947 achieved the independence. Okay, means India achieved independence on the day, and India splits into the Dominion of India and Dominion of Pakistan. Means the separation of the two nations took place on 15th August 1947. Okay, that is India was a separate state and Pakistan was a separate country. Sorry. 29th August 1947, drafting committee appointed with B.R. Ambedkar as its chairman. Okay, who are the chairman? B.R. Ambedkar. The other 6 members of committee were Munshi Muhammad Sudal, Aladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, N. Gopalswamy Iyengar, and Khaitan and Mitter. Okay, these were the 6 other members of the committee. Next point is 16 July 1948. Along with Harendra Kumar Mukherjee, V.T. Krishnamachari was also elected as second vice president of Constitution Assembly. On 26 November 1949, the Constitution of India was passed and adopted by the Assembly. Okay, which date was 26 November 1949. Next, we have 24th January 1950, last meeting of Constituent Assembly. The Constitution was signed and accepted with 395 articles, 8 schedules, and 22 parts in it. Okay, And finally, on 26 January 1950, the constitution came into force. The process took almost 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days at a total expenditure of 6.4 million to finish it. Can you imagine such a big expenditure was made to frame your constitution? Further, it says G.V. Mavlinkar was the first speaker of the Lok Sabha, that is the lower house of the parliament, and after India turned into a republic. Okay, further we have drafting of constitution. Okay, so Sir Benegal Narsingh Rao, a civil servant who became the first Indian judge in the International Court of Justice and was president of United Nations Security Council, was appointed as the Assembly's constitutional advisor in 1946. Responsible for the Constitution's general structure, Rao prepared its initial draft in February 1948. The draft of B. N. Rao consisted of 243 articles, 13 schedules, which came to 395 articles and 8 schedules after discussion, debate, and amendments changes. At 14th August 1947, okay, before your Independence Day, meeting of the Assembly committees were proposed. Rao's draft was considered, debated, and amended by the 8 persons drafting committee, which was appointed on 29th August 1947 with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar as a chairperson of it. A revised draft constitution was prepared by the committee and submitted to the Assembly on 4th November 1947. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, in his concluding speech in Constitution Assembly on 25th November 1949, stated that, and what Ambedkar said in his speech is mentioned over here. He says, "The credit that is given to me does not really belong to me. It belongs partially to Sir B. N. Rao, the constitutional advisor to the Constitution Assembly, who prepared a rough draft of the Constitution for the consideration of drafting committee." While deliberating the revised draft constitution, the Assembly moved, discussed, and disposed of 2,437 amendments. This many amendments were disposed of, okay, out of the total that was 7,635 before adopting the constitution. The Assembly had 11 sessions, okay, 165 days. On 26 November 1949, it adopted the constitution, which was signed by 284 members. The day is celebrated as a National Law Day, okay, and this day is celebrated 26 November 1949 is celebrated as your National Law Day or Constitution Day. The day we choose to spread the importance of the Constitution and to spread thoughts of and ideas of Ambedkar. The Assembly's final session convened on 24 January 1950. Each member signed 2 copies of the Constitution, one in Hindi and the another in English. The original Constitution is handwritten, okay, with each page decorated by artists from Santiniketan, including Behor Ram Manohar Sinha and Nandlal Bose. Okay, its calligraphy was by Prem Bihari Narayan. Okay, the constitution was published in Dehradun. Okay, where it was published? It was published in Dehradun, and the photo of lithographed is the printing from the stone. Okay, or the printing on a stone. The photo lithographed by the Survey of India. Production of its original constitution took nearly 5 years. 2 days later, on 26th January 1950, it became the law of India. The estimated cost of Constitution Assembly was around 6.3 crore million. Okay, the Constitution has had more than 100 amendments since it was enacted. Now here we are talking about the structure, okay, structure of our Constitution. The Indian Constitution is the world's longest for sovereign nation. At its enactment of 395 articles and 22 parts and 8 schedules in it, at about 1,45,000 words in it, it is the second longest active constitution after Constitution of Alabama, okay, in the world. The Constitution has a preamble and 470 articles, which are grouped into 25 parts with 12 schedules and 5 appendices. It has been amended 104 times. Changes are made in this 104 times. The latest amendment became effective on 4th January 2019. Okay, this was the latest amendment which took place in our constitution. The constitution articles are grouped in the following parts. Let's see which are these parts. Okay, here the first point says the preamble with the words socialist and secular and integrity. Okay, added in 1976 by 42nd Amendment. Now, what the Part 1 of the Constitution deal with? It deals with your states and union territories. Part 2 of Constitution deal with citizenship. Part 3 deals with fundamental rights. Part 4 with directive principles of state policies. Part 4A with fundamental duties. Part 5 with the union. Part 6 with the state. Its part 7 states in the B part of the first schedule. Okay, and part 8 with union territories. Part 9 deals with panchayats. Part 9A with municipalities, and part 9B in cooperative societies. Part 10 schedules and tribal areas. Okay, part 11 with relations between the union and the states. Part 12 with finance, property, contracts and suits. Okay, part 13, it deals with the trade and commerce within India. Part 14, it deals with services under the union and states. Part 14A, it deals with the tribunals and part 15, okay, that deals with election. Part 16 is with special provision relating to the certain classes. Part 17 with languages, and part 18 with emergency provisions, and part 19 is miscellaneous, means various. Part 20 deals with amending the constitution. Part 21 deals with temporary, transitional, and special provisions. Part 22 with short title, date of commencement, authoritative text in Hindi, and repels. So, guys, this way we have done a short and brief summary of our constitution. So, that's all for our today's video. Hopefully, see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye and have a nice day.